What's up, guys? In this video I want to talk about masculine influencers. I'm going to be critical for the sake of argument. I'm just picking three guys that are, three really prominent male influencers, masculine, like basically daddy of the internet, and very competent, very smart, very intellectual, verbally intelligent individuals, and just strong-minded. And yeah, let's talk about Andrew Tate. Let's talk about Jordan Peterson. Let's talk about David Goggins. And I'm going to be critical for the sake of it, just because this is the point of the video. This video is about, again, masculine influencers. If you're watching this video as a man and you're struggling with your masculinity, with your what it looks like being a man in 2025, this channel, I spitball. Hopefully I can create some insights and come from a completely genuine and just off the cuff perspective. I'm bringing up this topic because these are three individuals that I have followed. I'm a very obsessive person. I follow things and I get into things really, really deeply. And Goggins, for one, I was listening to Goggins and Peterson at the same time, and really kind of hybrided it. And I took a lot of the life lessons and stories from Peterson, and the way he paints a picture with his stories. He kind of got me back into seeing some good in religion, and Goggins just being someone I identify with probably more than anybody out of those guys. And really, really taking things really far to the extremes, and with Goggins, this is the thing I'll say. I'll start with him. He has the biggest flaw of all, and out of all his podcasts, again, I'm saying this crucially, coming from a guy that's I hope this ever gets back to these people. I'm not big enough channel. I'm saying this as a very insensitive and not looking at them, looking at the archetype of them, not the individual, their product, right? Because when you're online, you're a product. You're a thing. You're an image. And with Goggins, all three of these guys doing better than most guys. I have nothing. This is not critique in a way that's hate or a way of their character or them as a person. This is what they're putting out there. And with Goggins, the first thing I'll say is the coldness, right? It's very clear, and you don't need to be Sigmund Freud to understand that level of discipline, that level of can't hurt me, that level. I mean, it is a strategy. It is power. It is, it's better than everything's better than being a sack of whiny sadness, right? But when you have trauma, there's a lot of trauma there, and saying can't hurt me is the quintessential archetype of the survivor, right? The survivor. I'm going to get super ripped. I'm going to be, the person that got, the trauma, becomes a bodybuilder. It's not a new thing. Goggins took it to the nth degree. The power of the mind, and he takes it a step further, in which I think he really did identify a lot of Wim Hof, these guys, the power of the mind. And that's the good message. But there is an underlying, how do you get to that point? How do you get to these want to be a billionaire? You are not normal. A degree of trauma happened to you that messed you up to a point where you're able to, why do you have the proclivity to do this, right? I don't want to get too off topic, but so there's a coldness there. That's what he's missing. With Peterson, there's not a lot you can critique about Peterson. And with Tate, there's not a lot you can critique, but there is, ultimately it is, he is it's super alpha, super, he speaks to so many men because it's common sense on steroids, right? Be a good man, don't do bad things, stay in the pocket. And it's essentially a guy who is hyper competent and very, very cognizant of game theory, and he's absolutely brilliant. He is like the gamer's masculine man. Like he is like the RPG character that had all the stats that was continually to build. And again, the only thing I could critique about him is like, you know, again, these are everyone. This is the one thing, and maybe Tate even brings this up. He probably does. He doesn't really miss much. The one thing is like, you can't be him. You can't be any of these guys. Like you have to be you. Like the thing about being a man, in which all these guys carry, is that that's who they're gonna be, and they'll die. Like, this is who I am. Deal with it. Like that is the best level at being a man. It's things push you away from that. Things make you second guess yourself in society. There's always these things, and right, the line between, you know, being empathetic and being, you know, cold, right? Like weak, you know, what it's very, and that is the balance of being a man, right? And that's kind of what I want to talk about, is balance, or what I am talking about, and in the context of these guys, right? Like I said, for me personally, I'm very obsessive. I was working out, you know, every time I do 30 push-ups, I just had this game I played with myself. Like this is, and it, you know, to Goggins' point, like I just took it to heart, and I realized how powerful the mind really is. And I just had a frame on my mind. I'm like, let's just see what happens if I never blame anyone for anything, and I never think negative, and I only like build every day to be better. And it led to the best thing in my life, but with that came temptation. It's a whole story, but the point is, with Goggins, like, I took shit really, really far, which it ended up, and that's the point, is like, you end up, you can't be, if you're going that hard, you can't be present. The mind needs downtime, like balance. And that's the difficult thing, right? Often when you have that motivation, you have that trauma, and you have that drive, and you're like doing it, then it's like, it's almost like that's a new addiction. Like that's a, you know, you can make anything self-destructive if you haven't healed. Yeah, and what's the line between hypercompetence and the power of the mind and showing your strength and actually self-destruction? And I think Goggins blurs that line a little bit. He's definitely running for something, and people who say that to him, that's the thing about it, right? Is like, those are haters. Like, you know damn well they're not doing that. And I would always argue it's better to be Goggins, because, you know, even if you're self-destructive and you're being, you know, the best version of yourself, and you're building on your mind, it's better than, so, like, you know what I mean? It's like all life is a distraction. I'm going like way tangential. I gotta stay on topic here, but I had the frame in my mind of what, and then I go on tangents. So masculinity, what does it look like in 2025? These influencer guys, these guys that are obviously doing more, to me, are just doing way more good than harm. They are giving men, but that's the thing, is like, and Tate even goes about this, and it's true, it's like, you get motivated, and then it's almost like, and this is, I guess, the point of the video, is like, at the end of the day, you have to be yourself, the best version of yourself, because these guys who motivate you, when the motivation's gone, or even, you know, I would argue most people that watch it get hyped up, they work out once. And I know for myself, I couldn't even work out without it became a dopamine thing. It became like, all right, without 3 cups of coffee, pre-workout, with Adderall, like, and then the craziest Prodigy music playing, David Goggins in the background, and getting up at 4 a.m., like, perfect amount of like, then it just became a new drug. It's like, how far can we push this? And I'm going tangential again, but damn it. obviously these guys are filling a gap, and even if some people aren't actually, they're you know, like a lot of us do. We listen to the thing, we feel good about it, and then it's like, yeah, you didn't do anything, and we live parasocially through people, all this crap. But these guys are a launch pad. Like, ideas work for certain people. And again, a lot of my videos end up being projection. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but maybe that's the most authentic and genuine way I could make a video. This projection, you're seeing literally into my soul. And yeah, it's a launch pad. What works for some people doesn't work for everyone. I think Tate is doing what he's doing because he's got like got the Dan Bilzerian superficiality, like the image or whatever, with the like Peterson intellect. He is like, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can say wrong about Tate. That guy is he's a beast. And there's not a lot wrong with his thinking. But again, it's like, what do you want in life? And it's like, if you don't want, like, you get to that level, you got more temptation, it's chaotic. Kind of losing my train of thought here. As like, around my frame around this video, I guess, is around balance, and in the context of these like influencers, there's a lot of imbalance, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But in an imbalanced world, of course, these guys come to the, you know, rise to the top and are filling a need. And what they all have in common is just like, you know, saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And that, like, just starting from there, it's like, even now, that's like, in a feminized society that's so conscious about how you make other people feel, like, there's a very fine line between your framing as a man, your who you are, what you believe in, meaning what you say, saying what you mean, willing to die for what you believe in, which is all good. Nothing is wrong with that. And hurting people to hurt people, being you know, toxic and harming people and being a predator, and, you know, like, just genuinely like trying to hurt other people to do it. And in my experience, it's like, I don't see a lot of course there's guys like that, but I just don't think that's in a man's heart. Like, that's a weak man. Like, I don't, and it's so, to me, again, I don't know, I'm saying this a million different ways in all my videos. What the hell's wrong with this camera? There's like, that is the great, and that's what I'll fight till the day I die. I can't live like this, where like society gaslighting men and conflating the best things about men, conflating that with toxicity. That is the worst message a society can ever do. That is the beginning of the end. When that was happening, and coincidentally, it's a big coincidence, that's when I was thriving the most. It's like, I didn't buy that shit. Like, and it was fuel. Like, fighting is like, that was a blast. And it's like, now there's nothing. It's like, what are we fighting for? Anyway, that is, to me, that's just pure evil. You know, taking the piss out of men at scale is pure evil. You're taking the people with basically what every man has. It's like when you're a man and you go to the bathroom, all men are equal. You could be there with fucking George Clooney, Tom Hanks, freaking, Donald Trump. You're all in the bathroom taking a piss. Nobody's better than anybody in the bathroom. That a man holding his dick in his hand and you're in the, you're hanging out with bro, like that is men. There's no class, and there's no class disparities. That's men, and that's the best thing about men. And that's like what society was until this paradigm happens, because and this is the thing that drives me nuts, is the censorship of speech, and this message about masculinity only hurts. It hurts just like anything that's harmful to society. It hurts the people at the lower echelons the most, i.e. men without families, men without friends. It used to be you could at least have your what do you call it? You basically have your word. You have your man card. You have your honor, right? Your honor. And when society shuts people up, it only hurts the lower people. That's where the voices, people don't understand about like freedom of speech. Like it's for the worst speech. It's for the most traumatized people, the people that need that dark humor and need to stand up to injustices. Like it's crazy that somehow that's been weakened. And the masculinity thing, back to the bathroom analogy, trying to go full circle. The bathroom analogy is like, that was like how society was. Let's see if I can get back there. Okay, why did I bring that up? So the bathroom. Oh, it was like got it. That was like the common thing, like how we looked at men. That's part of being a man. Was in society, it was like everyone was equal. Like men were just, it wasn't based off of like your money, it was your character, and just like we just frankly talk to each other like we're in the bathroom. But when society does this shit where we like try to take away men's masculinity and their ability to speak, you create a society where now you have division within the bathroom, i.e. this guy's in the golden bathroom, he gets to take as long as he wants, he gets to talk about what he wants, and power dictates speech. Does that make sense? i.e. you can get away with things based off your ability and your amount of power. So this is exactly what happens. Like, you think more laws, more this, more that, like creates like safer, better society. No, it creates division and class disparities at a greater scale. Anyway, it just became really preachy. I was all over the place in this one. Anyway, I'm at the gym. We'll see pre-gym, post-gym brain fog, and see how I'll make another video after this, do a little experiment. But yeah, that's the video. Let me know if you got anything out of it. It was kind of all over the place again. But yeah, masculinity, Tate, Peterson, Goggins, and balance. Comment below if you want to. Have a good day. Bye-bye.